As an IT project manager, you must be working from home 80% of the time. Moreover, you have back-to-back meetings the whole day, and people constantly write messages and emails to you. As a result, you are constantly distracted and have no time to get your things done. But I discovered a simple trick that gave me back 2 or even 3 hours of productive work with zero distractions. As a bonus, it reduced so much stress. So I'll explain this simple trick and how I improved it over time. Also, I'll share the data-driven results that this whole approach provides. And if you stay until the end of this video, I'll also share an essential resource that, combined with this trick, will make you a world-class project manager. And if you are new to this channel, you need to know that it's an excellent place for aspiring and experienced project managers. You will learn practical tips and tricks on IT project management in the real world. So obviously, you need to reduce the number of distractions. But the problem is that those distracting meetings and messages in Slack happen for a reason. People need your guidance. You are their project manager. It's your role to remove impediments, make decisions, and help your team to get things done all the time. So, can you actually ignore all those distractions without endangering your project? At some point in my career, I had 4 to 5 hours of meetings each day. And it was before COVID, so I had to run around the office to get into the right meeting room. At the same time, I needed to write a lengthy report on our research initiatives. However, for weeks I couldn't find a day to dedicate 2 or 3 hours without distractions. As the deadline came closer, I decided to take extreme measures. So I cancelled all meetings for the first half of the day. I left the office and went to a coffee shop and turned off all notifications, emails and Slack. 4 hours later, after finishing the report, I dreaded getting back online. I expected to get dozens of angry messages from people who couldn't reach me, including my boss with the termination notice. But in fact, nothing happened. Absolutely nothing. The project moved on. Moreover, one kind soul even sent me action items from the meetings I missed. That's when I realized I don't need to be present all the time as a project manager. And in future my experience proved this statement times and times again. After that, I regularly used this simple trick when I needed to get my things done, so I just went offline. However, going dark for hours is not the best approach in most corporate environments, so how can you make this trick work without pissing off your boss? Moreover, how can you do it ethically and professionally? And the solution is to let everybody know that you have a more important meeting, even if it's a meeting with yourself. That's why I started to block my calendar with events to do critical work. Then, of course, I put the Do Not Disturb status in all the apps and pause all the notifications. I also go into the Do Not Disturb mode on my Mac to block all messages even if people do write me. It worked like a charm, but there is a catch. I was not as productive as I thought. I've been using an app called Rise to track my activities for some time already. They don't sponsor this video, it's just an excellent tool for understanding where your time goes during the day. And I must warn you, these numbers might shock you. Your actual workday is not what you think of it. So, for example, here is the 4-week average in April 2023. As you can see, meetings still take most of the working hours. But after that, focus time, the real work where I produce the value, is only 17%. It means that the average per day is only 51 minutes of focused work. So, what does it mean? You spend half of the workday on meetings, then for about 3 hours you frantically switch between different apps and websites to answer all the queries. And in only about 1 hour you do the most productive work. And moreover, most likely this focus time is broken down into several 30-minute segments. Think about it, this project manager and productivity geek can only get 51 minutes of uninterrupted work during a workday. That's bizarre. So now the question is, how to increase your daily focus time to get to at least 2 hours of super productive work? Yeah, it might seem like a slight improvement, but this additional hour of hyperproductive work will significantly improve your career. I learned this concept from a productivity expert, Michael Hyatt. It's called the ideal week. And then Melinda Gates summarizes this idea the best. If you don't set your own agenda, somebody else will. If I didn't fill my schedule with things I felt were important, other people would fill my schedule with things they felt were important. So now, rather than blocking time for specific important tasks, I put several events throughout the whole week where I will do critical work. Ideally, you should know what you will do in these time slots. You need to have a plan for the whole week, and that's another productivity tip for you. Having such a weekly plan will dramatically reduce your stress and anxiety, but likewise, picking up the most critical task on a go is an improvement. And here is a secret tip for you, because in the real world, in real organizations, you cannot block time at your own discretion. You must align your deep work time slots with the company's cadence. So, for example, if you are working in Europe, blocking evening hours is a terrible idea if you need to connect with overseas clients. Likewise, if you are in the same time zone, batching meetings in the morning is good, and then schedule uninterrupted work in the midday. More often than not, people will respect your schedule. A few will still block a meeting when you are unavailable on top of your events, but you can deal with them or make an exception if you feel it's important. But in any case, you have an ethical excuse to decline that meeting because you have important plans already. But in this whole system, the main question is how to identify what is important in your project today or during the week. As promised, here's a video explaining all aspects of project management. It will help you structure your knowledge and understanding of real-world project management. Watch it now and gain confidence in your PM skills and start blocking time for deep work to push your projects further. See you there, click the video now.